Yes, I'm Ollie, and I released my book 2 weeks before my trial HSC exams, which is not a good decision. Just gonna let you know. It's a young adult book, but it's written by a young adult, which is kind of cool. And these guys pretty much said everything that I could tell you. I'm not gonna lie. Book writing, I'm fortunate where I can just write and write and write for like 3-4. I think once I wrote for 10 hours straight. Just didn't drink, didn't eat. I just wrote, which is unhealthy, but you get a lot out of it. And I feel like when you're writing something, you got to dedicate yourself so much to it every day. And like I was studying. I had my half yearlies, and I'm still editing this book. And now it's been out for about a year, and it's won 2 awards. It's in like, I don't know, it's in a bunch of libraries across Australia. It's in a few local bookshops. Like, it's gone really well. I'm getting a following on like social media and stuff for it. So, you know, it's definitely patience. Like you said, patience is key to it, because there's days where you'll be writing and you're like, what's the point? Like, I'm just, yeah, it is for me. Like, when you write a story, at first it's for yourself, because you want to see where you can take these characters. You want to see if you can actually do something like this. So I wrote for 9 months straight in year 11, and finished my first manuscript, and then I had to edit it. My mum and dad read it, and then I had to get beta readers to read it, and then I had to do a whole bunch of other stuff. We had to pay for an editor, because I self-published this book, because this book is actually too big for normal publishers. They don't like books that are over 100,000 words. So this is 180,000 words. If you compare it to Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter is 69,000. So it's about double the size, almost triple. So publishers, if you want to get a book published, write a smaller book, because publishers will not accept. They won't even read it if it's over 100,000 words. I think story structure, like you said, is really I'm fortunate where I didn't plan before I wrote. I just wrote, and it kind of all came together. But yeah, you have to structure it. Foreshadowing. Do you guys know what foreshadowing is? Yes. Awesome. Foreshadowing is really important. You gotta tease things that are gonna happen. So there's I'm gonna talk about my book a little bit. So there's a character in my book. It's a fantasy, and he turns into a panda, which is weird. But I foreshadow it in the first 3 chapters, and it's oh, he looks like a panda in the shadow, and if you keep reading, he actually turns into one, and it's just really cool thing that it gives it rereadability, so you can reread the book. So yeah, that's really important. I also drew a map. I think visuals are really important when you're advertising. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's the map. Bit small. Yeah, so visual stuff, especially when you're marketing, I feel like you can write a book and publish it, self-publish it, professionally publish it, but if the word doesn't get out there, people aren't going to buy it. So you need to put, even when it's released, you need to put hours and hours. I put about 4 to 6 hours a day into it. I've also got university, and I also have 2 jobs, so I don't have free time. I have a bit of free time, but it was really hard. And when I released it before the trials, I had the exams coming up, and then I had to do paperwork for my book. I also had 18ths coming up, and then I also had, what was the other thing I had? Socializing. I do on Facebook at least once, and Snapchat, all that stuff. But and at the moment, as you can see, I'm rereading this book, so I want to re-release it with an actual publisher soon. I've written a second book, which is 100,000 words shorter. It's 75,000 words long. And it's at the moment getting assessed by publishers. It's called Cold Hands, and it's actually a story based in the mountains. So if you guys see it in the bookshelves next year, give it a look. Yeah, but there's a lot that goes into it. I've got my own website now, which is really cool. You guys can have a look at it. I'm sure there's some words somewhere. And on the website, luckily my dad's an IT person, so he made it, which is cool. But there's heaps of stuff. I got every social media under the sun. I'm Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, like the really weird ones like DeviantArt. You know, I got all of them. So you gotta. Okay. One thing that I feel like a lot of people don't normally do is you gotta like be proud of what you've made. Because when I first released my book, I was in high school, so we like got the high school to help, and I had a situation like this where I had to like talk to everyone, and I hated it. It was the worst. And you feel kind of embarrassed about it, but like I think if you're proud about it, just tell everyone. Tell your mum, tell your mum's mum, tell your dog. Like just tell everyone. And hopefully like this book might like, because in reality, not like if you tell everyone, not everyone's gonna buy it. It might be like 10% of the people that you tell buy it. That's still 10%. So if you tell 1 million people, I don't know the math, but that's like a lot of people. So there you go. Yes, just be proud. Dedicate yourself and be proud of it. Make it like your life. Because I have seen Wattpad. I was going to put my new book in it, and I was like, I didn't know about the copyright stuff. Yeah. Which is really kind of scary because it's like, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But yeah, Wattpad's weird. I don't know. Published editing. Yeah, no, editing's weird because you can write like, I feel like it's the same with art or like if you're into sport. Like you can be like really proud of what you do. Like let's say you play, I don't know, Division 2 and you want to get into Division 1. And you know, when people criticize you, they'll like say you're not good enough. And they'll like put you down, you'll be in a bad mood. But if you just keep trying and like just have patience, you'll get somewhere hopefully. Yeah, anyway.
Have you always written? Did you write as a younger child?
Yeah, in year 5 we had a creative writing class and it was only going to be like 1 page, and in our little, I don't know how big are they? You guys have small books here? Smallish? Yeah, it was 1 page of those smallish books and mine was 12 and my teacher hated me. That was great. So yeah, I've written a bit too much. Yeah. That's okay.
Is this second book you wrote also in the same series?
No, I'm writing the sequel at the moment. So my new book is kind of a Blue Mountains drama, high school drama. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to write?
This took me 9 whole entire months. So every day I wrote for 2 hours at night and just listen to loud music when you write.
And there's another thing. So you've published your book and it's everywhere. So like, what's it like to know that it's like all over the place and everyone's reading it now, but you're going to re-release it and
yeah, that's a great question. It kind of makes me feel bad. I think it was just like, that was me when I was younger, like this is me now. Because the annoying thing about this book, Mum made me put my face on it. And so I'm like 16 in this photo and I'm not 16 anymore. So I think if we re-release it, maybe we'll put a different photo on it. So, but we'll give you the option to maybe sell both of them so you can get the older book or the newer book, depending on your tastes. But I feel like it's a good kind of bit of history. But I'm not sure at the moment. Look at that.
Rory?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, Rory.
I'm just wondering, how many copies do you reckon the book sold?
So, over 800? More? Over 1,000? I don't know. Yeah, over 1,000 would say. In the last year, probably about over 1,000. Good.
Did you say you're like republishing the same book? Is it like different or is that kind of the same?
No, the story's still going to be the same. I think I'm just going to tweak it and make it more perfect.
Was it always your ambition to be an author?
Not really. I don't know, it just kind of, it was something I could do and I thought it'd be cool to kind of have something under your belt because it looks good on your resume as well, like when you get the job in the future. Like I'm still going to university, I'm still working because I don't make that much money off it. But if it could go somewhere one day, and if it doesn't, I still have my backup. I could still go to uni and like do that in my course. So not necessarily, but it is an interesting thing that I think like people should do more. Like not necessarily be an author, but like do what they want to do. Yeah. Go ahead.
So when you are writing the gifts of life,
Yeah.
you did it for 9 months and 2 hours each day. So what did you do for the rest of the hours?
I went to school. I slept. I ate. I hung out with my friends.
That makes sense.
I partied.
Who did you learn to be happy?
Who was my teacher in year 5? I think her name was Mrs. Pooh. Like Pooh as in like P-U-G-H. Pooh. I'm that good. God.
Can I hold my hand?
No, that was her. God, buddy.
What was your favorite book that you made?
That I made.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like my new one. Yeah. I reckon my new one's 10 times better than this one. Because it's weird, when you write the first kind of few chapters, you're very bad at writing, and then you get better. Because it's like practice and error. And then you go to, that's why editing's so important, because you get better at writing. Yeah, so my next book's definitely much better.